Transparent to what is going on in the industry, what is going on in the organization. Being transparent also to the people by giving them the right feedback, giving them an honest feedback. Part of honesty also that was mentioned is integrity. What's the difference between integrity and honesty? So honesty is telling the truth, right? Being honest, being transparent. Integrity is doing the right thing when nobody else is looking, right? So employees are looking for both honest leaders and leaders with integrity. They also, of course, look for leaders who are competent. Those who know the business, has business acumen, is familiar with the system, familiar with the processes. Okay? Syempre, if you have your members, if you are the employee, you would always look out for your leader's knowledge and skills, right? But take note, I will have a caveat to that later. They also look for leaders who are determined, not easily swayed by challenges. Leaders who would always take on challenges. Nagsabi kayo na being positive. Looking at the positive side of things, being optimistic. Right? They like leaders who would say, even if there's a problem, okay, we have a problem. Let's find the solution. So these are another characteristic of leaders that they are looking for. They're looking for leaders who are inspiring. Those who would make them want to do things, not because they need to, but because they want to. Okay? Those who inspire them to go the extra mile, to be accountable, right? Because they understand why the leader is doing that, and they also understand why is it also important for them as employees to do what the leader is telling them to do. They are also looking for leaders who would inspire them to do better, to become better employees. And they also are looking for leaders who are forward-looking, leaders who are innovative, leaders who have foresight of things, leaders who would always look out for potential challenges and potential opportunities. So these are the qualities of leaders that employees look for. Now, aside from these qualities, there's another key trait that leaders or that employees would like to see from leaders. And this is trust. This is one of the key traits that leaders should have. Trust towards whom? The leader's trust towards the team. Because a good leader knows how to trust his team, given that the leader was able to prepare the team and support them and taught them well. Some leaders fail to delegate. Why? Here are the reasons. One, they don't trust the team. Leaders fail to delegate because they do not trust that the team will do how he wants the job to be done. Leaders also fail to trust the teams if the leader doesn't trust himself. How? Bakit ganon? No? If leaders do not trust themselves, that they taught the team, that they prepared the team, that they equipped the team correctly, they will not trust the team that the team will do the job that they want, or the deliverables that are expected from them. So, if you have prepared your teams, if you have trained them, if you have developed them well, if you have provided them the culture, equipped them with the tools, and if you have helped them understand the reason or the goals, the why for doing the task or the job, you as leaders will automatically have trust towards the team. Doon pumapasok yung feeling of being empowered as an employee. Doon pumapasok yung feeling of, okay, I can be independent because my team leader trusts me. And mind you, this is not something that you do. You also cannot tell your teams na, you know what, you have to trust me, I'm your leader. No. If your team doesn't trust you, then ask yourself, is there anything that you did or did not do that stops them from trusting you? If you don't trust your team, same thing. Is there anything that you did or did not do why you're not trusting your team? Trust is something that starts with the leader. And if you go back to yesterday's discussion on 5 dysfunctions of team, diba sabi doon, the first dysfunction that we need to address is lack of trust. The employees should see first that their leaders trust them before they can trust one another. Right? So that's another key trait that leaders should have. Leaders should be competent. That's one of the qualities now, diba? That employees are looking for sa leaders. But I would also like to challenge that and give you this quote. Always remember that a leader will not always be the smartest person in this room or in the room. Do you agree to this? Do you agree with this? Why do you agree with this, Ange? I can see you nodding your head.
For me, kasi we have very different brains about isa sa atin. So, the way you think is not exactly the other member thinks. So she can come up then with a better idea. Hindi lagi ikaw.
Right. That's right. Thank you so much, Ange. Yes, Migs, I saw you give a thumbs up. You also agree with this quote? What made you say so?
Same with Ange, no? Kasi minsan, di ba, you're always trying to find things to make life easier. Yung pala, the other person na hindi mo pinagkakatiwalaan has the smartest answer or the quickest solution. So you're always not the smartest person in the room.
Exactly. Leaders, accept the fact that this is really a fact. Accept this, that you will not always be the smartest person in the room, but you should always be the wisest person in the room. When we say wisest, you may not know the actual process. You may not actual process, but you may not know the actual system. Kaya ka nga nag-hire ng SAE eh. Diba? You may not be the one to know everything about Excel. That's why you hired a person who's good at Excel. But you have to be the wisest person in the room to know who you should call or who you should tap in case there is a need for a specific skill or specific knowledge in your team. The reason why you are given the responsibility to source your teams, yung mga team members ninyo, so that you know what would be the best fit for your team. Of course, you will not hire somebody na hindi magaling, di ba? You will always find the best person qualified for the team, which can also mean that he may be the smartest person in the room because he knows what you may not know. But since you know their skills and their capabilities, that makes you the wisest person in the room. What makes you the wisest person in the room is if you know how to mobilize them, how to optimize their skills, how to develop more their skills, and how to inspire your team. All right, so that's more important for us. Again, leaders will not always be the smartest person in the room, but leaders will always be or should always be the wisest person in the room. Okay lang kung hindi nyo alam lahat. Okay lang yon. Basta alam nyo kung sino ang nakakaalam nung kailangan ninyo. Alright? Now, all of these things, it's easy to develop, you can develop these skills. But one thing that we can develop these qualities. Now, we can develop the quality of being forward-thinking, of trusting, right? But one thing that we cannot really develop, but we earn rather, is credibility. Again, same people who did the survey earlier, Kuziz and Posner, they talked to people and they said that employees who perceive the managers as credible have these reactions or feel this way towards their leaders. An employee who feels that the leader is credible would feel proud that they tell others that they're part of an organization. They also feel strong sense of team spirit if they feel or if they see that their leader is a credible leader. They also see their own personal values as consistent to those of the organization. And they feel attached and committed to the organization. Lastly, employees who feel that their leaders are credible have a sense of ownership of the operation or the process. Ito yung gusto natin, di ba? Sense of ownership, empowerment, sense of accountability. And they can get that if they feel that leaders or their leaders are credible. I don't know if you have been part of an organization, but I remember I was part of an organization where the president of the company, he was young. He was very young. He was very approachable. He was very smart. And, he was very open to new ideas. He's very innovative. And he would always come up with new products and services and even CSRs that would make us feel proud as an employee. That even when the company had to close down because of bankruptcy, all the employees were still backing him up. That's the power of credibility, guys. That's the power of credibility. The employees will remain with a sense of ownership for what they're doing, for their products and services, because of a credible leader. So, how do we become a credible, how do we earn this credibility? Here are 5 leadership abilities that would help us earn the credibility that we want to have, or that we want our employees to perceive of us. Okay? So we have model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, and enable others to act, and encourage the heart. So when we say model the way, it refers to the most fundamental way in which leaders earn and sustain credibility. It's when they do what they say they will do. All right? There are two parts to this practice. The first one is to clarify your values. What are your values? What is your own voice? And how can you clearly and distinctly express your values to everyone in the organization? What are your non-negotiables, basically? If these non-negotiables are clear to you, you can easily communicate that to the organization, to your teams. But of course, if you communicate, if you voice out your values, you have to, of course, walk the talk. Hindi mo lang pwedeng sabihin, I value attendance, I value punctuality. Kasi ikaw mismo late. Di ba? Hindi mo pwede yun. It completely changes it completely shatters your credibility. So when you say, I value integrity, then you have to practice integrity. I value honesty in the team, then you have to practice honesty in the team. If you value empowerment, okay, empower your team. So walk the talk, and this is one of the most fundamental ways to earn your credibility. You do what you say you will do. The second one is inspire a changed vision. In inspire a changed vision, first, again, there are 2 parts here. First, you have to envision the future by imagining and believing in an exciting and highly attractive outlook for the organization. What you're doing here is you are imagining a future that does not exist yet. Having a positive mindset, thinking of a positive output, a positive outlook that would inspire also other people. The way you envision things will also be manifested by the team members. And the second part is to enlist others or make others part of that vision. include them in your vision. When you plan for your year, for your team, you engage the rest of the team as well. Because leadership is a dialogue, it's not a monologue. So you have to talk to your teams. You have to listen to them and inspire them and share them what your vision is. Challenge them, or ask them also to challenge your own vision as well. Because who knows, sabi nga natin, you may not be the smartest person in the room. Who knows, their vision might also inspire you to change your own vision as well.